Christmas isn't just about feasts and decorated trees or carols, but about the miracle of Jesus' birth. And sometimes people need a miracle of their own. There's nothing more powerful than showing grace to someone who's done nothing to deserve it. And he's realizing that Christmas is about doing something bigger than himself. Man, that's me.
This is the crux of what Christmas is all about.
That's
and
right.
I think this is what's lacking for people that are frazzled and they just can't wait for Christmas to be over. I sometimes wonder if this is what they're leaving out of Christmas.
Yes, absolutely. I think it is 100%.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's the person of Christ. And if you don't have that to center you, you don't have a foundation of what Christmas truly is about.
Mm-hmm.
Ho, ho, ho.
Welcome to the Bookish Introverts Podcast. Join host Amazon bestselling author Brett Nelson and avid reader Melanie Dyer as they dive in to review books they've read, then chat with the amazing authors behind them. Quiet minds, big bookshelves. You don't want to miss it.
Hey everyone, it's Brett and we are back. I am here with Charity and we are doing our first Christmas episode of the season. Yeah. So tell them what book we read.
We read
Before we get started,
Chronicles of a Lost Boy on Christmas. Heartwarming story for all ages.
Yes.
By A.F. Presson.
Presson. Yes. Presson.
I have never read anything
I hadn't either.
by this author.
Yeah.
I will be reading more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I am so excited to talk about this book.
I can't wait.
Because, okay, when I wanted something that was, okay, listen, I am on my sixth or seventh Christmas book since November.
Already?
Yes.
This was my first one
And
this season.
let's just say,
So are you reading them all for podcast or
no,
just for you?
just for most of them, just for my personal reading, because I enjoy reading them. And every one of them have been like, except for, thankfully, the two that we're doing for the podcast in the month of December. So I really like this one. So I'm like, man, I am just really bombing with Christmas books.
Now, let me
this
tell
year.
you, we're like very scientific in how we choose
Yes.
what to read for the podcast.
We are.
We like get on there and he'll send me 3 or 4 and he'll be like, well, what do you think about these? And then we just kind of go through and we pick whichever one looks the most interesting to us.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I loved the cover of this one.
That's what drew me in. The
I thought-
cover.
And I loved that it's like it was not blatantly like a Christmas romance.
Yes.
You
Well,
know?
and that's why, yeah, it's the cover for those of you, we'll flash it.
It is such a pretty cover.
Yeah, and I wanted a book that was going to be more heartfelt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not it. So it's got a picture of a boy. He's like
I
sitting.
can show it here 'cause I've got my
I thought I had a picture on my phone, but I can't find it right off.
camera.
It's a picture of a boy sitting like on a rooftop. Just got this big, huge moon in the background.
Oh, there it is. Okay, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, and we'll flash it. Yeah,
There we go.
so it's just a very cute cover.
It's a pretty cover.
And that was actually the
it
first
just drew
thing.
me in.
Yeah, when I was looking for Christmas books to read for the podcast in December, I knew I wanted something that was a little bit more emotional, a little bit more, what's the word? I didn't want something,
Like it was going to tug at your heartstrings a little.
yes, emotional, heart-stirring. That's kind of what I was looking for the podcast.
Yeah, because Christmas for me is an emotional time.
It is.
Like
Yeah.
I get I don't know what it is, but like Christmas carols in church around Christmas time, I will like be crying because like, thank God, because if our Savior hadn't come, we would have no hope.
Yeah.
And so for me, Christmas is all about hope.
Well, and the interesting thing about this book, it's not marketed as Christian fiction, but there are some
so I
Christian
wondered that
themes. Yeah.
because as we were reading, I was like, did he intentionally pick
Uh-uh.
like Christian themed novels? But I told Cody, I was like,
Well, that I was specifically looking for those.
Okay.
Yeah, but
but
yeah,
it doesn't
but
say that
this
like,
one
in the description at all.
no, the genre classification
Mm-mm.
don't say Christian fiction. So yeah, so that was actually a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
I was like,
reading, I was
oh.
like, this is such a perfect blend of like faith and fairy tale. and, like,
Exactly. Yes.
I just really, because I love fairy tales.
Hmm.
I grew up on them, but like my faith, obviously, that's a huge part of what we discuss here and do.
Yes.
And so to have those blended in such a beautiful and just sweet way.
Yes.
Also talks about the Christmas, like I guess it's like a legend, a myth. And
Yes.
how all of that came about, like in a way I had never thought about before or had ever even.
Yeah, it was a great spin on
Yeah.
the origins of Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to get into it. I think you all are really going to, you should go read it. You should just go read it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually like, it would be great reading for kids.
Oh, I would love to read this with my children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't think I was going to like it at first. Like,
Kind of bleak at first, right?
yes. Well, and okay, so here's another thing that I didn't think I would like about it. It's centered around kids. I don't usually like kids in books because kids are not interesting.
Mm-hmm. But the situation that we find these children in immediately makes it different.
Yes.
And not just like spoiled rotten little kids on Christmas.
Well, and that's what I liked about it. These kids. They're not bratty. They're not spoiled. But on the other hand, I hate it when authors write children and they talk like they're 30 years old and they act like they're 30 years old.
Okay, yeah. And so I did kind of struggle with some of that. Some of the things that they were saying, I'm like, no 12-year-old that I know talks that way. But then also, I don't know any 12-year-olds in this specific circumstance. As we'll get into it, that I think would make you be more mature and have more of an adult outlook on things, right?
Yeah, because these kids were in an orphanage, so they already had, so much put in their lives.
Trauma.
Yeah. And plus
pain.
this, I don't remember what year. I don't think I put on here. I don't remember what year this. I don't think it did, but this is more historical fiction.
Yeah. I sort of struggled with that throughout the book of like, when is this actually set?
Okay. I thought maybe I just missed it.
No, I didn't find that either.
Okay. Yeah. So it takes place in Poland and we don't know exactly what year, but it's
sometime in the industrial age though, because there are trains, there are things like that, but it's still very kind of rural.
Yes.
In their day-to-day activities. There's a lot of like manual labor. Basically.
Yes, exactly. So this is a good read if you want. Now, if you're looking for something, this
is not that.
This is not that.
Well, maybe at the end a little.
Maybe at the end a little. Yeah. So anyway, but before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about tell me 3 Christmas songs that will immediately make you turn the radio off.
Okay, I actually was trying to write these, and to be fair, I struggled with that part a little bit. I love most Christmas music.
Me too.
But there are a few that I just don't. Okay, "Happy Christmas, War Is Over" by John Lennon, Yoko Ono. I hate that song.
I do too. Yeah. That wasn't on my list.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the book in a way. It's very bleak and
it's just
But at least the book has some happiness in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like that one. That's probably the top of if that comes on, I'm like, next. Do They Know It's Christmas? Band-Aid. I don't like that one either.
Yeah. It's just a weird one.
It is. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And then this one, I think so.
I have serious questions about you if that's your favorite Christmas.
Yeah, true. Really. And if somebody knows some deeper meaning that I'm missing, I would love to know.
Oh, yes. Tell us.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And then this one, this is going to be controversial probably. And I purely don't like it because it gets stuck in my head and it's an earbud. But Feliz Navidad.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I hear it, I'm going to be hearing it all day.
Well, and it's just the same words over and over for 3 minutes.
It really is. I mean, yeah. My kids love it. They think it's great. I cannot stand.
Yeah.
It gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Any honorable mentions?
I mean, no, I like most others. These are kind of the only 3 that I'm just like, I'm not listening to those. But well, I guess I should qualify that with, I don't listen to much modern Christmas music.
Same.
So I don't listen to much.
I really prefer classic.
I'm a classic Christmas girl.
The Carpenters. I love I have their Christmas CD too. Both of them.
I'll have to get them.
Yeah. Oh, they are so good. Well,
I listen mainly on Spotify, but
okay.
And you can pull up anything pretty much on there.
Pretty much. Yeah. I actually watched a behind the scenes or an interview what was the brother's name? Richard Carpenter. Mm-hmm. I actually watched an interview that he did about I think it's a 2-disc set.
Okay.
And at the time that they recorded those CDs, it was very expensive because it was all fully orchestrated.
They're
and it's set up.
The songs are beautiful.
They are. Well, and it's set up as one big suite. So it's a bunch of songs, but so it literally it goes from one song to the next without ever stopping.
I gotta get those. I gotta listen to them. I've never listened to them in their entirety, so I'll have to do that.
Yeah. Well, and he said the record company actually came to him and like, this is getting too expensive, because they brought in these massive choirs to sing in the background.
But that's what makes it so magical.
That's what makes it so magical. But they were like, listen, we've got all this orchestra, we've got these choirs, spending too much money. You're going to have
You gotta cut it off.
Yeah. And Richard was like, no, we are going to do this right. No.
They just made him
because he had their fame behind them. And, probably if they had tried to make this earlier in their career, he would have had to bend to them, but he was like, no, we are going to do this and we're going to do it the right way.
So he had a vision and he was like, no, I'm not.
Yes. And Richard Carpenter was pretty much a prodigy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was self-taught. He knew how to play the piano from the very beginning. He was supposed to be the star of the Carpenters, not Karen.
I think about, and I know more of her story because it's tragic, heartbreaking. But I didn't know that.
She died of anorexia nervosa, if anyone doesn't know her story.
It's just heartbreaking. Yeah. And she was stunningly beautiful. Like there was
But she thought she was ugly. She did not see herself as beautiful.
Man, talk about dysmorphia.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Okay, so what are your 3 least favorites?
Okay. I'm going to start with a broad brush.
Okay.
Anything with Taylor Swift is a big no.
I'm not listening to any of that stuff. See, honestly, I couldn't even speak to that stuff because I was looking, I was like, I don't know any of these like modern.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I like to listen to the local radio station, but I've gotten to where I listen to Pandora more because
you can tailor it.
you can tailor it, and you don't have to listen to 10 minutes of insufferable ads between songs.
Yeah.
So
Spotify for the same reason for me.
Yeah. So anything by Mariah Carey, I will turn off the radio except for that one song.
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I love that song.
Classic.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that has become a classic because it's really not that old.
It's not. But I will say.
But it is a
classic. It's funny to me that you don't like. So is that like, aside from Christmas music, are you just anti Mariah Carey?
I just don't think Mariah Carey is that great of a singer.
Brett.
I know.
She's a diva.
I know. I don't think she is anywhere. And please, if you disagree with me, do not send us nasty emails. I'm just giving an opinion. We all are allowed to have opinions.
What stuff have you listened to?
I don't think she is even in the same ballpark as Celine Dion.
I think they're very different. But I rank her up there.
And Whitney Houston.
I rank her up there with
I rank Whitney Houston and Celine in the same,
amazing.
like they were phenomenal.
But here's the thing about Mariah is like her range is what makes her.
And that's what I don't like about her, because she gets up in that whistle range and it's not really.
There's not many people who can do that.
There's not many people can do that, but it's not pretty to listen to.
See, I like some of it sometimes.
I prefer.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah, I prefer a more rich, like Renee Fleming. That's what I prefer.
Yeah. Okay. And that's fair.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So what else?
So, anything that has to do with all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth.
Yeah, I don't really love
do
that
not
one.
like.
I mean, but my kids love this.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
No, Brett.
Do not like.
Gayla Peavy and I want a hippopotamus for Christmas is classic. Like we have that on, and right now my 3-year-old, she thinks that's the greatest. That one, and then have you heard?
Well, and that's okay. If you're 3 or 6 years old, I can understand why you would like those songs.
She loves that, so we listen to it a lot right now. And then
Grandma got ran over by reindeer.
I don't really love that one.
No,
my other kids think it's hilarious.
Yeah,
my older ones. But yeah, correct. And Barrett's like, "Why is she stumbling into the snow?" And I'm like, "Because she's been knackered on eggnog." Like,
yeah,
you have to explain that. The other one that Bellamy currently loves. Have you heard "Dominic the Donkey" by Lou Monte?
I have not.
Oh, you have to go listen to Dominic. You'll hate
it
because it's a kid's song. But it's about the Italian Christmas donkey, how Santa in Italy uses Dominic the donkey to get the gifts to the kids instead of reindeer because of the hills of Italy.
Oh.
And Bellamy thinks it's hilarious because there's a part in there where the donkey goes, hee-haw, hee-haw. And so I'm
going to go listen to it.
We're listening to that and to I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas on repeat in my house right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Because Bellamy loves them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got kids, so that makes sense.
I have kids.
Yeah.
But now... What song sets the tone for Christmas?
Okay, so before we go to that, and this is kind of like songs that I absolutely hate I hate the 12 Days of Christmas. It's just repetitive, and it's just I hate that song. I hate Baby It's Cold Outside. 2 people singing at the same time. I hate that song. I know. You're supposed to sing in harmony in a duet, not sing 2 separate sets of lyrics at the same time.
Okay.
hate that song.
I like that one.
There's another one that I really.
But I like the classic one, like the Dean Martin, like the original. I don't
Yeah.
like the new nonsense.
Yeah, the Jessica Simpson
Yeah.
has a version of it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So there's another one that I was going to mention, but I'm kind of blanking on it. Songs that I love.
Mm.
It came up on A Midnight Clear. That is
Oh.
such an underrated
That is a
song.
beautiful
Nobody records it.
It is beautiful though.
I love that song. I'm like,
Mhm.
why are more people not singing this song? Josh Groban has a fantastic version of it.
Anything Josh Groban does, I'm down to listen to.
Me too.
That man's
I've
voice
got his
is
CD. Yeah.
Stunning.
I like his voice, and he's a lot of times when I'm going to sing at church and need to warm up, I warm up to his songs. Because he's right in my range.
So that's interesting because I do the same thing with different vocalists that I feel like are super strong.
Yeah.
That it kind of just will help warm me up. And then a lot of times I'll even people who are way better than me, but it'll stretch me.
That's why I like his, because he gets up into that rich, full range. Not a lot of people have the ability to do that. And that's why I like to warm up to him, because it gets me into that rich, not that I have a voice to his level.
I get it.
But it
does kind of
helps
you
train your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that song. I love Silver Bells.
I like Silver Bells.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful one. Makes me think of Christmas.
Any of your favorites coming up?
Immediately the first one that I'm going to turn on every year is the Christmas song by Nat King Cole.
Yes.
Something about those first instrumental lines, that little slide that it does. It's just immediately like, oh, okay, this is Christmas. And oddly enough, that has become Barrett's favorite Christmas song. And so as soon as that one comes on the radio, he's like, Mom, turn it up, and so that's probably the top of the list for me.
Yeah.
It's just so classic, and his voice is so smooth.
Yeah. People
buttery.
don't sing like that anymore. Although, if there was a true crooner these days that was reminiscent of people like him, it would be, what's the guy's name that sings the jazzy?
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
We love Michael Bublé.
Love me some Michael Bublé.
He does a version of Jingle Bells on his Christmas album with a group of sisters, sort of reminiscent of like the Andrews sisters.
Oh.
And it's my kid's favorite rendition of Jingle Bells. So we listen to it every year.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
You need to go online and look up. There's a little, it's a video that I saw. It's Josh Groban at a concert. He's in a live venue. He's singing the song, and I don't remember what the song was. I don't remember exactly how it went, but he said, I really want to do this song. It's a song that Bublé does, and he's like really, working it and everything. He said, Bublé does it. And everybody says, I don't need to do this song because nobody can sing it like Bublé. He said, but I'm here to tell you, Bublé is not worth the vinyl. All this stuff. Yeah. So
because he comes out.
Yes. So he starts singing the song and everything. And of course, everybody's like, woo!
Yeah.
So, the reason everyone's cheering because Bublé comes walking down the stairs behind Josh. So Josh Groban, he's like, like all cheesing it up and everything. Well, so Bublé comes down and like starts singing with him, and it is such a fun little skit.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, so you need to look that up. It's really fun. So
Christmas song is right at the top, and then the second one I had on my list was "Merry Christmas, Darling" by the Carpenters.
Oh yes,
it's beautiful.
That's
it makes me
one.
happy.
Yeah,
it's just so pretty. I like to sing along to it. It's fun. And then for me, the Christmas carol that I love that I always go back to is "O Come All Ye Faithful." I adore that song. And to me, it's worship. Like when you get to that chorus, "Oh come, let us adore Him," that's worshipful.
It is.
And I love that. I love that Christmas carols can be both, a carol, but also worship. And so,
okay, this may be a little bit like one thing that I love about Christmas carols. You get all these ungodly, people. And
singing about the Lord.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, you are the most ungodly person, but you are literally giving the Christmas message. You are literally singing about the Lord.
That's right.
I love it.
I do too.
And probably as they're singing it, like, I wonder if the words even penetrate their heart of what they're actually singing, or if they're just singing a Christmas song.
I don't know. I mean, I know for me that like, I just have
to believe. But the Bible says nothing comes back void.
That's what I was going to say. I have to believe that at some level it is penetrative and it is doing something in their hearts.
Yeah. Any Christmas soundtracks that you love?
I love the Home Alone soundtrack.
Classic. Yeah.
Hard to beat that one. And then this is because I have kids. The Grinch. We listen to the Grinch.
Okay, yeah.
All the time. And
that Faith Hill song is phenomenal.
Yes, it is great. Where Are You Christmas is beautiful. And we listen to like the original, like Dr. Seuss audio of the like radio show that they did, the Grinch. Then we
Oh,
listened to
fun.
that Grinch movie with Jim
Yeah.
Carrey. And then we also, the new one that came out in 2018 with Benedict Cumberbatch has an awesome, like newer type soundtrack. And we listened to it a lot.
Oh, okay.
So those are kind of the two that I go to the
Your
most. But
favorites. And Polar Express. I really like the Polar Express soundtrack.
listen to that
Oh,
one.
I've got it.
Never watched the Polar
You need-
Express.
Really? Oh, girl, you need to watch it. Your kids
Okay.
will love it.
Okay.
Now, again, it's kind of it's a fun movie, but it is kind of
It seems a little dreary to me.
it is. It's a little well. It's kind of like
just based on what I've
you know,
seen.
I really enjoy I'm not a big Christmas Carol fan, you know, and
Mm.
there are 14 million versions of the Christmas Carol
Yeah.
floating around out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I like the Muppet version.
Yeah, that's what Melanie said. Melanie said the best version.
But I love the Muppet version.
Yeah. But the Disney version with Jim Carrey, like I really like that version, but it's very dark and dreary.
It is, yeah. It's
So-
not a happy story.
And Polar Express is sort of that way. Although
Okay.
Polar Express, you know, of course, Christmas Carol's the same way. You get your happy ending.
Yeah.
But y'all ought
But
to
you
watch
kinda have to
that.
get there.
But the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Okay.
So
We'll have to
Christmas
listen to
tree, clear lights or colored lights?
that. Both. Mine alternates, and depending on the mood I'm in on the day, it'll change.
Oh, okay.
Right now, it's on just a blink of the colored lights because that's what the kids prefer. And
See-
they went with bright colors this year, so I feel like it fits better.
Yeah.
But like last year, my tree was mostly muted, very earthy tones, and I kept it on clear lights the whole time. So it really
Yeah.
just depends on the mood I'm in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What about you?
Colored all the way.
All the
Well, I know people think white lights, and again, I'm just giving an opinion here. White lights are so boring.
Can
They are
be.
so boring.
Yeah.
I
I
know
like the
a lot of people
warmer-
like them because they're elegant.
Well,
but
and I think like for me at nighttime, it's that warmer glow.
yeah,
We'll turn off all the lights and just have the tree on, and
yeah,
I enjoy that. But I don't mind the bright ones either. And like when we had our big tree in our other house, it was pre-lit and we used them, but then I bought some of the like vintage looking bulbs, the bigger vintage bulbs,
yeah,
the
like
strands of those.
the A9s or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I wrapped it with that too, and I loved those. For
Oh,
the color, like
yeah,
they were so bright, so shiny, bigger. You could see them a little better,
yeah.
and so I really enjoyed. That was probably my favorite tree we've ever had,
Oh, okay.
and so I think I do lean more towards the color.
Yeah, I do too,
than
for
the
sure.
white.
Fancy tree or just
Mine's not fancy. Mine's
it's not.
no.
Okay.
It's my kids decorate it. It's very kind of hodgepodgey of whatever we've got. And I don't do like I have lots of friends, and my mom did this when we were kids. Like every year, you got a special ornament, and like you hung it on and so you would have a collection of your own ornaments. I don't do that. I'm not a plan aheader
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm not super sentimental about things like I used to be as a kid, and so we just kind of go with whatever. And we've had like the balls that are on my tree this year are all different bright colors. We've had those since Barrett was like 5, so we've had them a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're starting to kind of fall apart and stuff. So I told Cody, I think this year at the end of the year, I'm going to have to go buy some new decorations, but I'll probably just get a hodgepodge of things and then we'll decide the day of what we want. When
Yeah.
We put it up. So
Yeah. I used to be very.
is yours fancy?
I like a fancier
You
tree.
like a fancier tree?
Now, the one that I've been using for the last couple of years is not. It's more whimsical.
Okay.
But I always grew up. My mom.
I want to see some pictures of your mom.
My
Maybe you can
mom-
flash some. 'Cause
I will if I can find some, or I'll see if she has some. I don't think I have any, but I'll see if she does. Yeah, Mom liked fancy trees.
I think they're beautiful.
Yeah, I'm talking department store beautiful.
But like
That's
I
what Mom liked.
know my strengths, and I'm not a decorator, and
Mhm.
I'm not good at things like that. And so
And
I-
Mom was.
I'm not. And I think if you are, do it. Like it's my sisters. All of their trees are stunning
Yeah,
because they all kind of have that in them, and they enjoy it. And I'm just like, let's just get the stuff on there and like
yeah.
have it up.
Well, and that's when you were you and I talked about that a little before the podcast,
Mhm.
and I cracked up because your son really enjoys
so
decorating
particular.
a tree. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when my tree looks good, it's because my child has done it, not me. And he really does have an eye for it. He's very methodical about it. So like everything goes on in a certain order, and he's real, like he'll step back and be like, okay, no, that needs to move there. And I'm just kind of, it's fine, but he is super particular.
Yeah.
Which makes our tree look better.
Yeah.
But I was telling Brett, like it makes him crazy because my younger girls want to decorate, and
Uh-huh.
he's like, Mom, they're putting it all in the wrong spots. And so I just have to tell him like, okay, well, after they're out of the room, you can go
and do it the way you want.
Change it the way you
Yeah.
want.
Well, and that's what jogged a memory in me when you said that. Like, you know how it's like the Hallelujah chorus goes off in your mind, when a memory hits. So I can remember, like I said, Mom loved fancy trees, and like it was very precise, and just they were beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember going to other people's houses and being like, yeah, it's pretty, yeah. And we were talking one day. She was like, yeah, it used to drive me crazy that you guys wanted to help decorate the tree, but I wanted to give you those memories. So
Right.
she said, I would let you go in there. And then after we went to bed, she would go in there and totally undo it and fix it and do it her way. And like, I remember looking at my brother and going, like, we were too stupid to realize that the tree that we woke up to the next morning was not the same tree we decorated the night before.
I don't think it's stupidity. I think it's just a lack of noticing at that age.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of leads into a really good point of like creating holiday magic. Like,
yeah,
I think that that's a lot of times what moms in particular do at the holidays.
Yeah. So do you think, okay, as a mother, so many people, they get burned out before Christmas even starts. They're Grinches. They're just ready for Christmas to be over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is why? Okay, so you used to be one. Mm-hmm. So why?
It's really stressful.
Because I don't, and maybe it's because I'm a man. Maybe women shoulder more of the responsibility of giving the perfect.
I was going to say, I think moms feel a lot of pressure, right? To like, we want to create those moments.
They're doing the cooking, they're doing the decorating, they're doing the shopping.
Yeah. And so I think that's the other part of it is the mental load of it.
Okay.
We're carrying most of that in most cases of like, my husband has no idea what to go buy my kids for Christmas. Like he might know for Barrett to a point.
Yeah.
But for my girls, he ain't going to know. And he's certainly not going to know like if he wanted to buy them clothes or shoes or anything like what sizes they need. Mm-hmm. So like we have all this data that we're carrying around up here.
Yeah.
But now I will say Cody's excellent. Like one of the things that he does is that I would never even think to do, but that he's done it since Barrett was small and they love is like, he'll pick a day randomly when they don't expect it and he'll put lights on the house and blow ups in the yard. And like, they think that's wonderful. And so that's like his part of contributing to the Christmas magic.
Yeah.
But the like day to day of planning the Christmas list, planning the Christmas meal, doing the grocery shopping, doing the shopping for Christmas, getting everything wrapped. You know, in my case, I don't really put the tree up. Cody puts the tree up, but then getting the kids to decorate it. And like all of these things, I think moms kind of a lot of times tend to carry that load and it can lead to burnout.
Yeah.
And then I think we also live in such a time of like, I come from a broken home, split households. So it's not like we just have one Christmas, right? So like I have 5 that we will go to.
Oh,
we had 5 Thanksgivings.
That's stressful.
It's exhausting.
That's a lot for one day.
It's exhausting. Well, and we don't do it all in one day, but typically in about the span of a week.
Okay.
And that's if you're going every single day.
Yeah.
It's a ton.
Because you're probably taking a covered dish to everyone.
At least a dish, you know. And then if you're exchanging gifts at all of them, you're taking those gifts, making sure that you've bought for everyone that you need to buy for.
Yeah.
It can be a lot.
So if you could go back to your old self when you were frazzled and burned out and just like, I wish this was just over. What one piece of advice would you give to yourself to just not feel that way? Can you pinpoint it down to any one thing?
Absolutely. It's the Lord. Like I asked him, I started asking him, I don't want to hate this time of year. I want to enjoy it. I want to have happy memories. I want to create happy memories for my kids. I don't want them to remember a mom who was frustrated and frazzled through the holiday season.
Yeah. And so I want them to be that magical time for them.
And so I just gave it to him and I started asking him. And I mean, this is a recent thing just in the last year of me being like, okay, Lord, I don't want to dread this. So please help me. Help me through this season to remember that it's about you. It's about your son. And help me to find joy in all the moments. But that's really it. I mean, for me, that has been the key. Like I just had to give it to him and truly like when I start, because sometimes it bubbles up and I can feel that kind of frustration bubbling and I have to be like, no, Lord, I need you to take that and I need you to replace it with your joy. And he is faithful to do that every single time.
Yeah.
But it seems silly. Like I shouldn't have to ask for his help, but I do.
But we're human.
Yeah.
I think that's key right there. I think a lot of the people that are frazzled like that, they probably don't focus on the right aspect of Christmas.
It's easy to lose sight.
And if they're not Christians, why would they?
Exactly. And we live in such a consumer-driven society.
That's it.
That is so easy to focus on all of the other things,
Yeah.
the things of Christmas.
Listen, if you
But
have not
really-
seen that person in 8 months, do you really need to
That's
find
right.
the perfect Christmas
That's
gift
right.
for them? No, you
And-
don't.
And Christmas is not about the things, it's about the person of Jesus. And so if you lose sight of who Christmas is about and are focusing instead on what, all the things, I think that's where that comes in. I think that's where the enemy gets a foothold and can cause us to just really lose the joy of the season.
Yeah. You know, and you know, maybe you don't need 25 dishes on the table.
Okay, why you got to go stepping on my toes?
And I get it. You just want the day. You just want the meal to be special too.
Yeah, it's like we do this twice a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times, because like with Cody's family, we always do a big Easter meal too. So like maybe 3 times a year we do this like huge family meal where it's like a spread, like a feast laid out before us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And that's what you think of when you think of a
do.
Christmas meal or Thanksgiving meal. You know,
and I don't know, like
but,
maybe if this is the case for your mom, but for me, cooking is one of the ways I show my affection for people, and it's a way for me to show love. I enjoy it, and for me, it definitely is a love language.
Yeah.
If I care about you, I'll bring you a pan of rolls or a cinnamon roll, or things like that, or like I'll invite you to my house. Come eat dinner with us. Like that's something. It's a kind of a sacred thing. To share a meal with someone.
It is.
And so I think for moms, that's another part of that. Like, why we want to have all those things on the table. Like, we want people to remember that and for it to be special. And I think that's part of what the Lord kind of like birthing these things, ways that I can make it more special.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been asking for. Like, give me ideas, give me ways that I can make memories with my kids. Cause like I have some cherished memories as a child. My mama would take us every year to go see Christmas lights. And we would go to 2 or 3 different places. And it was a whole evening event. We would eat dinner. We would go look at lights. And then a lot of times at that time, they would do like late movies and she would take us to the movies. And so that was like a whole day and evening of things that we did with her. And we did it every year.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, laying in the back of her van, looking at the Christmas lights out the windows, and it was magical. And so I want my kids to have memories like that.
And it's so unfortunate that I just don't feel like, in general, Christmas is not that special, magical time anymore.
It cannot be. I mean, I think it takes a real concentrated effort on the part of families to make it
does. Yeah. I'm a huge YouTube watcher. I watch more YouTube than I watch pretty much
TV.
Anything else. I cannot tell you how many videos I've seen of people. Halloween's just not what it used to be. Christmas is just not what it used to be. Something's missing and I don't know what it is. Well, things are different when you're a kid than when you're adult.
Yeah. And
instead of getting the magic, you're giving the magic. Yeah.
But there is its own magic in that. If you can reframe your viewpoint.
Yes.
That can be kind of hard to make that shift.
Yeah.
But I have no greater joy in my life than, making memories with my kids and doing special things for them and things that make them happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a shift. You're right.
It is. But I think Christmas can still be fun and magical.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
And of course, this is me because I've been raised in church my whole life. I think the magic comes from observing the Lord in the holiday and not leaving him out of the holiday. If all you're focusing on is the commercialism and Santa Claus and
it won't be special. It won't be fulfilling in any way.
No, it's not going to be fulfilling. But Christmas is a holy season. And it seems like I don't remember back in my earlier days when we were young, you got this whole, don't say Merry Christmas, say Happy Holidays, because not everybody celebrates Christmas. It just feels like, and maybe I was just too young to notice things like that, but even secular people that weren't Christians, they still considered Christmas a holy holiday. And I feel like we've lost that.
Well, you can't even say the word Christmas without recognizing Christ.
That's why they don't like the Merry Christmas.
That's right, because it confronts all of those notions that they don't want to deal with.
Yeah. And I miss the good old days when even secular people who didn't consider themselves Christians, that weren't Christians, they still recognize the holiness of the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just romanticizing it. Maybe it was never that way, but
I mean, maybe when we're children, we see with children's eyes.
Yeah.
And there's maybe a veil there that kind of, or rose-colored glasses that makes everything kind of tinted.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we have a responsibility to try to carry that spirit, that Christmas spirit with us everywhere.
That
And
light into
that
the
light,
world.
yeah. And that's really what this story was about.
Yeah, take us into the book. Again, it's called The Chronicles of a Lost Boy by
Chronicles of a Lost Boy on Christmas by A.F.
Presson.
And so our three main characters that we meet right from the get-go are Nicholas, Lula, and Alias. Nicholas and Alias are best friends, boys, 12 years old. And Lula is their 12-year-old friend. And they are all orphanages. They're in the same orphanage, in Poland. And when we first meet Nicholas, he's sitting on a roof and he's looking in the window of this house next to the orphanage and he's watching this family observe Christmas.
Yes.
And he sees this young boy, open a gift and he's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And so Lula comes up behind him and she's like, remember, I told you this is them opening presents. Nicholas has no memories of Christmas because he was an orphan from day one. Just, never knew his family. But Lula, her mother passed when she was a little bit older. So she had some Christmas memories and she'd been trying to tell him about it. And so we learned just from those very first few moments that Nicholas is really seeking to find out what Christmas is really all about.
Yes.
He wants to understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the orphanage, they do teach them, the religious aspects.
Right. They learn about the birth of Jesus.
And that was kind of a frustration of his later on in the book. When he meets another character, he was like, he said, I want to feel the magic. Yeah. Experience the magic of Christmas. Well, the guy tells him, about the story of Jesus and it disappoints him because he recognizes that that's an important part of it, but there's still another part of it that he wants to grasp, but he just can't figure out what it is.
And this whole book is really about him searching for that.
Yes.
And so they have a few more conversations. Well, the next morning at breakfast, he gets called into the headmistress's office because the parents of the boy next door saw him peeping in the window and they made a complaint.
Yeah. And it's not like he was being a peeping Tom. No, he was across the street. But their windows were open, so he was looking in. And I'm like, how petty to complain about a kid in an orphanage looking in your windows if you close the curtains.
Right. And, as he's sitting up there, he's like thinking about, he's like, I wonder what I did that is so awful that I couldn't even be loved by my family.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't know where he came from.
Such a heart-wrenching.
It is. And, I will say, I thought that was pretty accurate. Barrett's 12, about to turn 13. And he is at this stage where he's really questioning, okay, why am I here? We had this conversation a lot. He's like, Mom, what's my purpose? And I'm like, Barrett, you have to talk to the Lord about that. I can't tell you. That's something that you need to discuss with the Father and let him impart to you what your purpose is.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what this book is really about. Yeah. And Nicholas didn't even know it at the time. I don't think he really knew it. But what he was really searching for was his purpose.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I really thought, it's probably, I think it's interesting that she might not have done that intentionally, but that age is the right age for those things to start happening, for those questions to start popping up. And if you didn't know where you came from, certainly I think that would be the age you would start being like, well, who am I?
Yeah.
Where do I come from?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a childish rite of passage. You have to forge your own path to know what path you belong on.
Yeah. And so as he's in the headmistress's office, he asks her that, where did I come from? And she tells him all the information she has, which is that he was left on the steps of a church in a town called Dalbeck. And that's why his name is Nicholas Dalbecka. And she tells him the name of the priest who found him and says, maybe he could give you some answers someday, but this is all the information that I have.
Yeah.
And he makes a snap decision right then that he's running away.
They're going to go. Yeah.
And he's going to go find out. But he can't leave Alias and he can't leave Lula.
Because even at that age, he's in love with Lula.
Yeah. And so I kind of struggled with that at first. I was like, although, the first way it's presented is he's like, he was going to marry her someday.
Yeah.
People might think 12 is too young.
Yeah, and maybe he wasn't in love with her at that point. Maybe he just had strong feelings for her.
Cared deeply for her. And you can tell that there's a friendship amongst all of them. They care for one another. They take care of one another.
Yeah.
And I would imagine in an orphanage in that type of setting, you would have to have your core people that you have each other's backs no matter what.
Yes.
And that's definitely the vibe that I got. That they're three best friends beyond the fact that he cares for her even maybe more deeply.
Yes.
Because her interaction with Nicholas is very different than how she interacts with Alias.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think that the mutual care is there for one another.
Yeah.
And so he tells him like, this is what I'm going to do. So they start kind of saving some of their food and trying to save up enough for like a week's worth, I think is what they wanted to have. And Lula,
and rations are pretty sparse, even
Pretty
at
thin.
the orphanage. So
they try to feed them well, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And so Lula initially says she's not going to go. Like,
Mhm.
she's just afraid.
She's
doesn't
too
think
nervous.
she can do it.
Mhm.
And so the boys decide that they're going to go. Well, about the time they take off, Lula's like, I can't stay here without them. And so she takes off too.
Yeah. And I was so glad. I was like, I could
Oh, I
not
know.
imagine the story
It's
without
really
Lula. Yeah.
Because she really is like the common sense in the group.
She is.
Like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
They are the typical boys, you know.
Rush ahead without thinking.
Seat in my pants.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they decide that they're going to hop a train. And that's what they do. They hop a train.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear this. This is a thing in books a lot, right? Like,
It
in
is.
stories where people hop trains. Was this really like a thing people
Maybe
did?
it was a thing back then. I don't know.
You know, I know, and I've read a lot of like Dust Bowl era stories, and I think even around then it was kind of a thing. If people were kind of vagrants, they would just hop trains. But I'm like, nobody's checking these cars at night? Like, nobody's...
Right. Well, I mean, even today, when you get caught and you have to sit there for 20 minutes for the
waiting for the train to pass.
4-mile train to go past.
Yeah.
And you do see several of those cars with the side doors open. So, I mean, I could see how it could be easy to do, but you would think somebody would be watching for...
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
so I don't know.
stowaways. I don't know. Anyway, they make it onto the train car, and like they're relieved that they're in it. Because I mean, can you imagine if even if it's not moving very fast? I don't think I could keep up.
That would be scary.
It would be scary.
Yeah.
So like they make it into the train car, and as they're sitting there, they hear a noise and realize there's an adult man like asleep in the train car. Another vagrant.
Yeah. And in the right story, that would be terrifying.
Yeah, right. And so, I mean, initially I was like, oh no, is this going to go badly for them?
Yeah.
Turns out he's a nicer, older man.
Yeah.
His name is Tomek, and they have a little bit of interaction. And Nicholas stays awake while Alias and Lula catch some rest because somebody's going to watch it. They're always going to have each other's backs.
Yes.
And so as he and Tomek are talking, he realizes Tomek is cold. And so he gives him one of their spare blankets because they did bring some extras, which I was like, oh, what a generous-hearted little boy.
Yeah.
Like, to share what they had, the little bit that they had. And so thank goodness, though, that they did run into Tomek, because the kids quickly realized, like, they have no idea where the town is that they're trying to go.
Yeah.
And so Tomek kind of gives them some advice, like, well, this is the stop you need to jump off at, you know, and
they have to jump off because the town that they're going to, they don't stop
doesn't
in
have
that
a train
town.
stop.
So they not only do they have to jump into the train, they have to jump out.
Ooh, not fun. So he helps them and tells them when to jump out.
And one fun thing about Tomek is Nicholas tried to sort of have a conversation with him about Christmas.
Yeah.
And Tomek was like, go get some sleep.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about it.
Nicholas trying to figure out what Christmas.
And he's asking every person he comes in contact with.
Yeah. And Tomek was just like, just go to sleep.
Yeah, because we didn't really cover it, but he and Alias had a whole conversation about Alias's Christmas memories, because Alias was older when he came to the orphanage as well.
Yeah. So he and Tomek did have a little bit of a
A
conversation
little bit of an exchange.
the next day or later that night. We're not going to tell you what that is. We're going to let you experience that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
that
so
is an ongoing
he's
thing.
Searching. He's trying to find. So they make it to this other little town of Delbecca eventually, and they run to the Church of St. Mary's, which is where he was told he was left, and he meets Father Klimek, who is not the priest he's looking for. He's looking for Father Gorski.
Father Gorski.
But Father Klimek says, well, Father Gorski lives, outside town in this little, and you can go there, and, I'm sure he'll maybe talk to you.
Yeah.
So but it's like
nowadays that would get you shot,
right? You don't just show up at someone's house
in 1900s Poland.
It was fine. And so like it's nightfall by the time they get there. He knows that Alias and Lula are exhausted, and he himself is tired, and so they kindly give them a room in the barn. Yes. Because their orphanage was full there.
Yes.
But they're they're not trying to hide who they are. Like, they're very upfront about that they're orphans, that they ran away, that this is what they're doing. Like, they're not lying to Father Klimek. They're just telling the truth. And he understands kind of the journey that he's on to try to discover where he came from. So they help him. They give him a room for the night. They bed him down in the barn.
Give him food.
Give him some food to eat, and are kind to him. So then the next morning, Lula goes to take the church basket back with all the food and stuff that was in it. And she meets this old man that is like grouchy and kind of scary.
Yeah.
And he asks her if she knows this certain woman. And she's like, no, I've never heard of her. And then Nick comes in and is like, hey, we got to go, and tells that man to leave her alone.
Yes. Because the man just won't let it go.
He's awful. And he's like really lapped in on Lula for some reason. So then they leave. She goes with him, and they go to Father Gorski's house. He answers the door, and he's a little suspicious at first.
Yeah.
As
And
one
who
would be.
wouldn't be?
Right?
Especially when they're kids. Because, I
Right.
mean, kids shouldn't be just
Out and about alone.
Yeah.
So Father Gorski, he tells him, I'm Nicholas Dahlbeck, and I was left at the church 12 years ago. Do you remember me? And Father Gorski's like, yeah, I remember you. Come on in. And so he invites the kids in. Father Gorski just basically gives him the rundown of like a fisherman found Nicholas during a really bad storm, because they're kind of on like a coastal town, basically, St. Mary's is.
Yeah.
And took him to the church and left him there. And the priest named him Nicholas.
Yes.
And he named him that because when he was holding him, he said he just knew that Nicholas was special. He felt like he was holding God's purpose in his hands.
Yes.
I loved that. And I think, like, as a mom, every time my baby was laid on my chest or I held them for the first time, it was like, yeah, like this child carries so much promise from the Father. Every child carries promise, carries a purpose.
Yeah.
And so I loved that. But that he was so intentional with his name, and that, he didn't just give this baby a throwaway name because it was a throwaway baby.
Yes.
And so he asked him, like, well, why do you want to find your family? And Nicholas tells him, like, I need to learn about Christmas so I can take it back to the orphans. Like, that's he's like, I know that there's...
And then eventually he says, I want to show it to the whole world.
So Gorski, that's when he tells him, the Christmas story again. He's like, no, I know this.
Yeah.
But I need to understand the joy of it.
The joy, the magic of it. Yeah. What he perceived when he was looking in the windows of this family.
Yeah, exactly. So they spend the night with Father Gorski, and the next morning, like, people are banging on the door. There's officers outside, and that mean man is back.
Yes, Brunnen.
Yes,
yeah.
And
he is back.
He's back. And they're like, oh, he's turned us in as runaways.
Yeah.
Well,
come to find out,
Lula is Mr. Brunnen's daughter.
Yes, he thinks, yes, she is his daughter. Now, he did supply a picture of his daughter.
Of his wife holding the baby.
Of his wife, his wife holding a baby. And so that's really all the proof he has that this is his daughter. And
you remember earlier in the book, Lula talks about how her mom always seemed afraid and like she was running from someone.
Yeah.
She was running from
Brunnen.
Mr. Brunnen.
Yeah.
And he's hollering that his wife stole the baby from him and he wants her back, blah, 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 blah. Well, they tell him that there's nothing they can do and she has to go with him.
Yeah.
Nicholas tries to save her, but Gorski holds him back and is like, listen, you can't do this. It's
this
not
is going to be
well.
bad on you.
Yeah. Just let her go.
So
he tells her, he's like, I will find you. I will get you back.
Yeah.
And that becomes his mission at that point.
Yeah.
So the priest kind of looks at him and is sad. And he's like, well, you boys can stay another night. Like, I'm not going to kick you out after something like that. It's pretty traumatic. You can stay.
Yeah.
So then the next paragraph is like weeks later. They've been there a long time.
There are a lot of jumps in the story.
And I'm okay with that. Like, it moves the story along.
Totally. Yeah. So the story jumps to weeks later. Lula is still gone. The boys are with Gorski. Gorski comes out and says, hey, I'm going to town. Do you guys want to go with me? So they go to the general store. And while they're there, they run into Lula. She's there with Brunnen. Well, of course, they talk a little bit, and he reaffirms to her, we're going to do our best to get you away from him. Well, Brunnen sees them talking. Well, he comes over, shoves his cane in her neck, and makes her leave. He does not want her talking to these boys.
And he doesn't love her. The only reason he wants her, as we quickly discover, is he just wants her to clean his house and take care of it.
And he even told her that. He said, I don't want you here.
I have no feeling for you. I just need somebody to take care
of
me.
I need someone to take care of me in my old age.
And so...
Well, I mean, she had more love in the orphanage.
Absolutely she did.
Yeah.
Because the headmistress there, they make it clear that Berta cares deeply for those kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good woman. Yeah.
So Nicholas is super angry after this interaction. Alice is like, dude, we got to bide our time. Like, we just got to take our time.
Yeah.
And Father Gorski starts talking to him, and he asks him, Nick asks Father Gorski, he's like, how do you feel about anger?
Yeah.
And so what does Father Gorski tell him?
Well, Father Gorski tells him, if you truly forgive, you won't be angry. I don't agree with that. How do you feel about that statement? Okay, for me, forgiveness is it's a progress. It's a progression.
It can't. Yeah.
I just don't think just because you manage to forgive someone, that does not mean your anger automatically goes away. Sometimes getting rid of that anger is it's a process.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think too, it depends on if it's like a righteous anger, like if you're truly angry for a right reason,
Yes.
or if it's
For an
rooted,
injustice, or
if it's rooted in something different.
Yes.
I think that matters, what the
Yeah.
root of the anger is.
Yeah.
For me, most of the time, if I can get to a point where I can truly forgive a person for a perceived wrong or a true wrong or whatever, the Lord has done enough work in me that then I'm not really angry anymore.
Yeah. Well, and even the Bible says, be angry, but don't sin,
And sin
while
not.
you're doing it.
That's right.
And so I think that's the key. Just don't sin in your anger.
And Father Gorski even says that. He's like, you're also human and you're not expected to be perfect.
Yes.
That's why our God forgives.
Exactly.
I think we are unable.
So there was a lesson there.
Yeah. And I think, as people, like Father Gorski says, we're unable to forgive without the Father. Without the empowerment of the Holy Spirit, I don't think we could do it on our own.
Totally. Oh, no, you couldn't. It is not in our fallen human nature to forgive.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's not.
You have to have the Holy Spirit in you to truly forgive. And again, even if you're a Christian, you've got the Holy Spirit in you and you truly want to forgive. I'll be honest. There's somebody that I have gone to church with for years that really hurt not only me, but a lot of people. And even though I love this person, I would bend over backwards for them. I don't have any animosity toward them. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but I still have to fight with that. Sometimes if I see them in the store, I'll go down another aisle to not have to talk to them. Now, if I get in a situation where I have to talk to them, I can hug their neck and be nice to them.
But I'll say this too. I don't think that forgiveness means, biblical forgiveness does not mean that you have to allow that person a place back in your life.
Exactly.
Forgiveness does not require close proximity and relationship.
Yeah.
You can forgive someone and never speak to them again. You can.
Yeah.
So, I think that's true. So Nick just basically tells him, like, he's angry because he doesn't have a family. He's angry that he's never got to experience Christmas like most people have. And he's angry that Lula is, like, been held hostage by this guy and he can't help her. And Father Gorski says, all of those reasons are valid, but I think that you need to realize that your feelings are more from sadness and helplessness than anger. Mr. Brunnan is an angry man, Nicholas, and he asked him if he sees the difference. And I thought that was a really great thing for him to point out. And we kind of see Father Gorski really taking on more of like a parental role here.
Yes.
Of like trying to kind of guide him along this path.
Which you need at that age. These kids are 12 years old. You need that kind of not only physical guidance, but that spiritual guidance too.
Man.
So Gorski really had a pivotal place in their lives when they needed it the most.
Yeah. Yeah. As a mother, I find myself frequently, especially lately, like, Lord, give me wisdom to mold these children into the people that you want them to be.
Yes.
Help me guide them.
Don't let me mess them up.
Help me not to mess them up. Help me to lead them down the path that you want them to go. I could not do it without the Holy Spirit. I could not.
Absolutely not.
That conversation, though, does kind of prompt Nicholas to start thinking about the kind of man that he wants to be. And 12 is not too soon for that. Barrett and I, he's 13, and we're starting to have a lot of deep conversations about the kind of man that he wants to be when he grows up.
Yeah.
I'm
and
glad.
He's got a good manly presence in his life through Cody.
He does. He has a wonderful father.
And that is a huge blessing in a kid's life, to have a mother and a father.
Yes.
Because mothers and fathers impart totally different, shape us in totally different ways.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we're not only are we, is he blessed, like, he has both his mom and his dad, but like, we've got other godly men and women that are in their lives that are going to help shape them
through church, through family.
That's right. And those are blessings. And so, like, I was thinking and reading this, I was like, man, these kids didn't have any of that.
They didn't.
And that's heartbreaking to me.
Yeah. Well, in fact, Lula's life has really digressed, because now that she's with Brunan, she's being forced to do horrible labor. She's scrubbing the floors.
Yeah.
She does all the cooking. So her life has really digressed.
Yeah. And he won't let her out of the house now since they ran into the mission.
Yes.
She just stays inside all the time. But she did find a treasure. She found a box of her mother's belongings.
Yes.
And so that became something precious to her. And she actually secreted it out of the house at one point and hid it away in the garden. Basically,
yeah. So even though she's in a despicable situation, I really feel like in the grand scheme, this was a good thing for her, because she really kind of got to know her mother through this little treasure that she found. We won't tell you what it is. We'll let you experience that. But she does sort of get to know her mother in a small way.
Yes.
Through the horrible situation that she finds herself in.
Yeah. So one day, Brennan is on his daily stroll and she's fixing supper, and then she feels eyes on her and realizes that Nicholas and Alias, are there. or Nicholas is there
They're
watching her.
looking through the window.
And he tells her, he's like, we're making a plan to rescue you. Well, about that time, Brennan comes up and grabs her behind the neck, and Nick tries to help her, and he hits him with his cane and then starts kicking him and beats the snot out of him, basically.
Okay.
Until Father Gorski intervenes. What kind of person beats up a kid?
Well, in these days, that would be just the little nudge you need to get that kid out of that situation. Apparently, in those days, that wasn't the case.
In Poland, though, I mean, really, in the early 1900s,
in the industrial
it was not
age.
uncommon.
Yeah.
Not uncommon.
Yeah.
For children to be treated that way. And lots of people had.
Well, and probably women, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Women and children.
Disposable.
Yeah. Yes.
That's sad.
It's sad.
So Lula goes back in the house because lots of people are looking around and stuff.
And she just doesn't want Nicholas in any more.
Right.
If she pulls herself out of that situation, it's better for Nicholas.
Yeah. And so Nicholas, a few days later tells Alice he's going to rescue her and decides if he's going to go with him. And Alice is like, man, I'm with you. Like, I'm with you. Man, don't we all need a friend like that? That's just with us to the
I'm
end.
telling you, this
Their
book
friendship
is a very good representation of what true friendship is.
Yes. Yes.
This next part, I don't know how we're going to talk about without giving spoilers. So basically what happens is when she goes back in the house, Nicholas and Alias go their way and tell them what they get in a boat.
So they do make a plan to go rescue her, and Alice is with him. And like they get her out of the house, they make it to a boat on the Baltic. But like the Baltic is known for being pretty
treacherous
yes.
and
kind of unstable.
Pop-up storms.
Yeah, and so like they all three make it in the boat, but right as they're about to take off, Brennan has raised the alarm, and the officers grab her and pull her out, and they drag her back.
That's right.
And so she's back in her father's grasp.
Yeah.
And the boys are already out at sea; they have no choice.
Yeah.
Well, this storm blows up. The boat capsizes, and the next thing you know, everybody's separated.
Yeah, nobody knows where anyone is.
No one knows what has happened. We know Lula is safe with Brennan, physically safe.
Nicholas and Alias,
we have no idea.
They're separated.
They're separated. They don't know what one has. They don't know the fate of any of each other, basically.
And can you imagine? That's a horrible scenario.
So the next thing we know, Nick is the only one in the boat, and he's floating along, and he's out of it, like dehydrated, sick, and he washes ashore. In Germany.
Wakes up in Germany.
To the face of a gentleman named Ulysses Claus.
Yes. I'm ashamed to say I did not see where this was going until this point.
I had an inkling.
I was like, Nicholas.
His name is Nicholas. I was like, they're somehow going to tie this into the Santa Claus.
I didn't get that.
Into the Santa Claus.
But
then,
I
had no idea how
when we got to Ulysses Claus, I was like,
this is where we're going. Old Saint Nick.
Old Saint Nick.
Right. Yeah, even at that, this did not go the way I anticipated.
No, not at all.
So good.
Yeah. This is not the predictable story that you would expect.
At all. And it is well worth it.
Totally.
So Ulysses takes him back to his farm. And that's where he meets Minna.
Yes.
This girl from the orphanage there.
And Ulysses is a black man.
Ulysses is a black man. Yeah.
Such a
Christian man.
Hearted.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a widower. Mm-hmm. He's alone. But he just takes Nicholas in. And you can tell there's this affection between them. Immediately that happens.
Yeah.
And so Minna, a girl from the orphanage, comes and she always helps Ulysses harvest potatoes because he feeds the orphanage with part of the potatoes. And so they send help. And so Minna and Nick hit it off and become really good friends right off the bat, but they're just friends. Like nothing, he still loves Lula. Like that's a touchstone in his life. He comes back to how much he loves Lula. And he shares with Minna about Lula and Alias and his heartbreak over being separated from his friends and not knowing what happened to them. And so he's talking about all this and Ulysses tells Nick, well, maybe you should just send her a letter. Like you can do that. And he never thought of that. Like, of course he's an orphan, so he probably never had anyone to send letters to. So he does that. He writes her a letter.
Plus he's in Germany now, so he can't just walk across town to get to her.
That's right. So the next thing we know, Lula is on errands and figures out she's getting followed and she doesn't want Brennan to make a scene. She just receives this letter.
Yeah.
Is that how we want to go about it?
Yeah. From this point on, listeners, we're getting into spoiler territory. It's kind of hard to navigate what to say and how to say it without giving major spoilers.
Yeah.
Do you want to just call a spoiler zone here?
I think so.
Okay, we're going to call a spoiler zone here. If you don't want any spoilers, you might want to check out here.
Read the book. It's really good.
The Chronicles of a Lost Boy by A.F. Pressman. I read it on Kindle, and we both read it on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, it is such a. I'll be honest, I was so pleasantly surprised by this book.
I was
I
too.
did not expect to
And I told
enjoy
Cody,
it the way I
I'll
did.
probably wind up ordering a hard copy of this to have, because I would like to read this with my kids. I would like to
Me
read this
too.
every year.
I am definitely going to order. In
It's
fact,
so good.
I called you. I was like, hey, do you mind to read this on Kindle Unlimited? Because I don't think this is a book I'll ever read again. This is totally a book
I will read this every
again.
year probably at Christmas.
Yeah. So,
it's so good.
if you're checking out now, I highly recommend you read this. This is probably one of my top books of the year.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
Yeah. And it doesn't scream.
No.
If you want a sort of a book that's reminiscent of Christmas, but doesn't scream all the
Deck the halls and
yes, pick it up.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, so let's go into spoiler territory now.
Okay, so the person that is stalking her is Alias. He's alive.
He's alive. Up until this point,
we thought he was dead.
We thought he was dead.
Yeah. Sad moment.
Yeah.
And Nick thinks he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so it turns out Alias was rescued from the water by Father Gorski.
Mm-hmm.
And he has brought this note because Nick didn't know how to get the note to Lula, so he sent it to Father Gorski.
Yes.
And so Alias gives this note to Lula, and Lula and Alias talk, and she tells him, like, Nick cannot ever come back here because the guards think he's the reason I escaped, and nothing good will happen.
He's basically wanted by the police.
So she writes him this letter, and she gets Alias in on it, and, like, she tells him, like, we have to let him go.
Yeah, she basically tries to convince him that she no longer has any sort of feelings for him.
And she's happy with her father.
She's happy,
and she tells him she doesn't mention that Alias is alive. So she leaves Nicholas thinking
because she knows if he knows Alias is alive, she knows that'll bring him back.
He would come back.
Yeah, so she tries to convince him that she's happy, that she's finally happy with her father, and that he just needs to forget her.
Yeah.
Because
and move on.
Things will be harder for her if he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets that letter, and then it just breaks his heart. And then we jump to 4 months later.
Yes.
It's winter. Euless has told Nick, like, you can still live with him, but you need to go to school and spend days with kids at the orphanage and, like, interact with people your own age. And so, you know, it's same old song and dance. There's bullies at this one, just like there was at the other one.
Just like there are, yeah.
But he stands up to him as always, you know. And he's gathering firewood, and he tells Euless that he risked the lives of his friends and nearly got himself killed in search of the deeper understanding of Christmas. And he's still just as big of a nobody as he ever was.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not a nobody.
No.
It makes my heart hurt.
But how many times are we plagued, even today?
Isn't that the enemy's favorite tactic?
That's
to make us feel
favorite
alone
tactic.
and isolated and like we're the only one.
Steal, kill, and destroy.
And whatever situation it is, you're the only person who's ever experienced this. You're the only person who's ever felt this.
Yes.
Nobody's going to understand you. Nobody's going to have any compassion for you. You should just keep quiet.
And that's why in my book War Songs we talked about that.
Yeah.
In this we talked about that book, and that'll be coming out in January. That's why I wanted to use a lesser tactic. If the enemy can get you with your thoughts, he will do it. He doesn't need to lead you to drugs and alcohol and sexual deviance.
True.
If he can get you with your thoughts, he's going to do it.
And the Bible tells us that clearly. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And if he can twist, man, and I love that too. Our heart is deceitful above all. Like,
yes,
we have to have the Holy Spirit in us because there's nothing in us that is not deceitful of itself. And so I have to like constantly be like, Lord, show me the parts of me that don't line up with you.
Well, and he tells us to renew our mind daily. You have to renew your mind daily. And that means recognizing that those thoughts for what they are.
And letting him reveal them. Sometimes it takes
life.
him being like, hey, that's not for me. Hey, do I say that about you?
And listen,
I don't. And so don't believe it.
That can be a very difficult thing to do.
Absolutely.
It takes so much courage to have that sort of self-awareness, to be able to reflect on your own life and say, that does not please God.
That's right.
That I need to pull that up by the root. That takes a lot of courage because
and allowing him to like prune those parts of our hearts can be painful.
It can
be. He does not allow pain without something new to be born. And so
it's never, that pain is never without purpose.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so a lot of like, this is what he's going through. All of this pain that Nicholas is walking through has a purpose, and it's going to lead him to his purpose in life.
And sometimes that pain can come through letting people go. You know, and that's kind of, he's going through that because he's finally has come to the realization, I can't have anything else to do with Lula because I don't want to make her life harder.
Right. kind of sacrificial
love. Yeah.
So they go back in the house, and Euless has made Christmas dinner, and there's a Christmas tree in the corner. And so, like, he's going to have his first Christmas.
Yes.
And Euless got rid of his hay mattress, made him a new bed. Like, he is showing love to this boy.
And he's giving him a real home.
real
A
Christmas.
hay mattress is sort of a temporary
Right.
fix, but building him a real bed,
But now it's
that's
like,
basically,
you belong here.
You belong here. This is your home.
That's right. That's right.
It's so heartwarming.
Yes. And so Euless also hands him another gift, which was on the porch for him, and it's a red toboggan that Minna crocheted for him or knitted or whatever, which I was like, how sweet.
Yes.
And so then Euless tells him, after dinner, I'm going to show you what Christmas really is about.
Yes.
I was like, where are we going with this? You know, like, where are we going?
Yeah.
Well, we quickly discover that, like, they've loaded up the cart with the donkey with all of these bags, and they go to Euless knows all of the most needy families in town. And they leave these bags as a surprise on the doors. Like, they knock on the door and kind of ding dong ditch, for lack of a better word. And they watch as these people receive these gifts. And they even take pastries and things to the orphans. And so he watches Euless all night long doing these deliveries, and he's surprised when Euless tells him, like, I want you to do the last one. Well, it's the bully's house.
It's the bully. Yeah.
And he's like, this kid doesn't deserve anything. Like, he's mean to me.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a huge teaching moment.
Yeah.
From Euless.
Euless tells him, he's like, his father always taught him to be kind to unkind people because they need it the most.
Yes. Which is true.
Yeah. And so
sometimes we forget that.
We do. As Nick watches Hans receive this food, and he sees, like, the reaction of, like, the gratitude and the thankfulness and his happiness.
Because he's going to have food tonight.
His hate kind of goes.
Yeah.
Because there's sympathy there, right?
Yeah.
And Euless tells him Christmas isn't just about feasts and decorated trees or carols, but about the miracle of Jesus' birth. And sometimes people need a miracle of their own. There's nothing more powerful than showing grace to someone who's done nothing to deserve it. And he's realizing that Christmas is about doing something bigger than himself. I highlighted that section about nothing more powerful than showing grace to someone who's done nothing to deserve it. Man, that's me.
Yeah. And
man, like, Christ shows me grace every day, and I don't deserve it. Like, I can do nothing to deserve it.
And this is the crux of what Christmas is all about.
That's right.
I think this is what's lacking for people that are frazzled and they just can't wait for Christmas to be over. I sometimes wonder if this is what they're leaving out of Christmas.
Yes, absolutely. I think it is 100%.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's the person of Christ. And if you don't have that to center you, you don't have a foundation of what Christmas truly is about.
Yeah. Well, you know, and sometimes when you watch, like, Christmas movies these days and stuff, sometimes they do delve into that a little. It's like, if you're to the point where
I think
you're burned out and you're just ready for, maybe doing something for other people will change your perspective.
And they tend to focus on that more, I feel like, in media today, instead of, like, Christ. It's more like loving other people or showing, you know, being sacrificial in the way that you approach servanthood.
Yes.
Maybe.
That is not a popular notion these days, to be a servant to other people.
That's right. No, it's not.
That's not a popular notion.
And that's really what Nicholas has learned here, is, like, he will find greater joy in serving others than being served himself.
And they're doing it in a way that nobody knows who's doing it. A lot of people
not
want
letting the left hand know what the right hand does.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and that's another big thing here. They don't want people to know who's doing all this.
That's right. So, as our next section starts, we've jumped 4 years down the road. The kids are 17.
Yeah.
Lula is still trapped with Mr. Brennan. Turns out, though, that Mr. Brennan has some valuable information about Alias's family, which we're not going to tell you. You need to go read it and find out. But really interesting stuff there.
Yes.
Did not see that coming.
This is where you start getting the meat of the story.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. So a few days later, Lula comes home from grocery shopping, and there's a man waiting in the house, a general. And it turns out that Brennan has essentially sold her to this man.
Yes.
He's paid a dowry for her. And he's going to wed her in a few days, like after the new year. Well, Lula is just devastated. So she still deeply loves Nicholas.
This is when Nicholas really needs to show up.
Yeah. And so around the same time in Germany, Nicholas is getting ready for Christmas. In addition to all of, like, the potatoes and pastries and apples and stuff, Euless and him have been, like, whittled little toys from wood, and then Minna has made mittens or scarves, and so, like, they're adding to it, right? They're adding to it
rather than just food. Now they're giving little trinkets, little toys, other things that people could, because, you know, the Bible says, what is it good to feed someone if you don't clothe them as well?
That's right.
So you're really starting to see
See, and this is how the scriptures are
Christmas
so
for me.
subtly woven through this story. Like nothing
Yeah.
is in your face, but if you know the word at all,
You
you're seeing
recognize
those
it.
things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Somebody that's not a Christian may not see all these nuances,
And
but
I think it's
it is
masterfully
there.
done.
And that's the brilliant
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be able to write something like this and not have reviewers talk about how now I'm sure there are reviewers that talked about how preachy it was because they used the name of Jesus without
I
a
didn't think
profanity.
it was super preachy though.
But it really wasn't.
No.
But some people think it's preachy. If it has any sort of Christian
Reference.
connotation, it's preachy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the author is really a skilled author in putting Christianity into the story in a way that
Weaving
that
faith
it's
in.
that it's subtle.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And that's how I like Christian fiction.
Yeah.
I like it to
It's
be
not
subtle.
like, meh.
I don't like it smacked in your face.
Yeah. So,
but maybe some people need it smacked in the
I
face
mean,
because
some
they're
people do, really. Some of us are a little dense.
yeah.
So Nicholas is kind of pondering some things in his heart. He's worried about Euless because Euless is slowing down. He's starting to age and just not be as quick on his feet, not able to do as much. Nicholas is taking on more and more and more responsibility. And so like they have a whole heartwarming conversation where Euless is like, you are my son. Like everything that I have is yours. We weren't able to have we learn Ulysses' story. You'll learn that throughout. It's heartwarming and heartbreaking, but they have developed a father-son bond, and like they love one another. And then Euless leaves and goes to die. And I was like, what is happening?
Well, in my notes, I was like, because it just says he goes away. I was like, did he go away to die?
Right. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
Because he's like there and then he's not. And so he's grieving. Obviously, Nicholas is just grieving this loss. He takes it out on Minna at one point and feels really bad about it. So right after he like yells at Minna and she leaves, the barn door opens again a few minutes later and he turns around thinking it's her and he's going to let her have it. And it's Alias. And like the joy in this moment of like they're reuniting. I was like, yay, they're together again, the best buds,
Yeah.
And so they embrace. Nicholas invites him to stay. And then that's when Nicholas drops the bomb that Lou is about to be married off. And Nicholas is like, oh no. No.
He's like, we got to stop this. Yeah.
We have to stop this. And so
there's just something so heartwarming about that kind of, even though at this point they're not kids anymore.
No, they're grown young men.
But there's something charming about carrying that level of love from childhood all the way up.
And I know some people that like have married childhood sweethearts and then it's truly been that way. And I think that's precious. And I think that sometimes the Lord does allow that to happen.
Some people are truly
and I think that's such a blessing
to be together.
Yeah. So
the Lord ordains it.
Minna does show back up and Alias is like in love.
Yes, the minute
and Minna
he sees
adores
Minna,
him. Yeah. Like it's mutually returned. And I'm like, oh, look at that.
Because I'll be honest, when I first started, I was like, oh, please don't tell me. Minna is a great character. I do not want Nicholas to fall in love with Minna. And I'm so glad the story didn't go there.
They're just friends the whole time, And like,
well, in fact, he's very upfront with her and says,
like, I love Lula.
Because I think Minna did have maybe a little bit of feelings for him, but he was very clear up front. Look, I'm in love with Lula. We're never going to be anything other than friends. And she accepted that.
Yeah. So they make all these plans. Nick takes off for Poland, right? They hire a boat. He does things all the right way.
Because now they have a place to come
back to. Because now he's a man. Yeah, because Euless left him everything.
Everything.
So the farm is his. The house is his. Everything is his. And so they go back. They go to get her back. And Alice is like, I'm with you. And Minna, she stays, right? She stays.
Yes.
So they get to Poland and he wastes no time. Like he goes to Father Gorski, tells him what his plan is, and then he goes to get Lula. And Alias, doesn't he stay at Father Gorski's?
Yes, he stays at Father Gorski's while Nick goes to get her.
So like they get there, Lula, there's a guard there, but he manages to get in even without the guard there. And he's like, that's it, we're going. And she's like, all right, I'm with you. Like I've adored you forever. And so they take off.
And time is ticking for her.
They got
because
to move.
If they don't get her out, she's going to be forced to marry this guy.
So they go and they take off to Father Gorski.
And again, I don't think the guy that she was supposed to marry, there's no indication that he's a bad guy.
No.
She's just not meant to be with him.
She just doesn't love him.
Yeah. It's just an arrangement.
Yeah. An arrangement. And that was also very common back then. Very common.
Yeah.
So they get to Father Gorski's, but they hear that like they can hear people chasing them. They know that they're coming.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do we do? And And Father Gorski's like, well, a
At
dowry
this
is
point, they really don't.
a
have anything
dowry
to
is
lose.
sort of a contract, though. So
Yeah.
like, they have some things to consider. And he goes, well, the only way that could really stop from being forced is if she was already married.
Mm-hmm.
So Father Gorski just marries
He
them.
marries them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so
Yeah.
sweet. And Nick tells her, he's like, we've always known this was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and
It
so
was
it happens.
inevitable.
It
Yeah.
was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And about that time, you know, the general shows up with the guards, and they're like, well, hey, look, she's already married. And he's like, well, what about the dowry? And Father Gorski's like, I knew nothing about that. Like,
Yeah.
I live out here on the outskirts of town. I didn't know. These kids are married. You're going to have to do something else. He says, like, that sounds like that. That's Mr. Brunan's
Brunan's going to have to pay the dowry back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, but I did love that the general tells Nick to take care of her. Like, I think he genuinely, I think he was trying to get her out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Is what I really think.
Mm-hmm.
Just from those few little, because that's really the only lines we hear from him.
Yeah.
I think he cared for her,
Mm-hmm.
and was trying to get her away from Brennan.
Yeah.
And Nicholas tells him, like, we will.
Which, who's going to take care of Brunan? The whole point of him having her there was to,
Yeah.
so she could take care of him. So I'm surprised he would
Yeah.
let her leave to marry.
Exactly.
Because he
well, but he was getting the money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He was getting the dowry.
So he might have been able to hire someone or something.
Yeah.
You know.
That's never explained. That's just kind of how my mind works.
Yeah. So as soon as that happens, Gorski's like, y'all got to go, because once Brennan hears about this, it's not going to be, it's going to be ugly.
You got to go where he can't find you.
That's all right. So they go back to the boat, and as they're drifting away, they see him standing on the shoreline, like shouting angrily, like he's just ugly. He's just an ugly man.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Minna is kind of working behind the scenes to set things up for Alias to come work at the orphanage. And so they get back to the house. Minna meets them. Minna and Lula hit it off right away. Like, they're best buds. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, this is what every young married couple wants, right? It's like another young married couple to hang out with, do things with, and like, they're best buds.
Yeah.
And so then we jump to Spring, and he's explaining that he feels really guilty for leaving Berta without any word of what happened to them or what went on.
Berta is the woman that took care of them in their original orphanage.
Yeah. And so he's like, I really think now that I know what Christmas is about, I would love to take it back to those kids. And she's on board. Like, she's like, let's do it. And so then Alias, though, we find out he's gotten a permanent position there, and he asked Minna to marry him.
Yes.
I was like, yay. Alias got
and it's a good thing, because there is a little bit in the beginning of their marriage. There was a little bit.
Alias cannot read a room.
No, Alias is dense in that way.
He cannot read a room.
He does not take subtleties. Of course, they were newlyweds. They wanted to spend time together, just the two of them. Well, Alias was.
He's just right there in the big middle of it.
Yeah.
So funny.
So that was just kind of
Minna
funny.
was critical in like resolving that.
Yes, they were like, Minna, you need to get him out of our
Help
way
us out.
so we can be newlyweds.
That's right. So Father Gorski, though, comes to attend Minna and Alice's wedding, and he tells Lula while he's there that Brennan has died. So that part of her life is over, well and truly done.
And I hate to say it,
What
but
relief.
sometimes it's a relief when you
I was not sad to hear that character was gone.
No.
Sometimes I mourn characters. In this case, I kind of celebrated.
Yes.
Nick is still kind of trying to decide, like, he still feels like maybe he's not living up to his whole purpose, right? Like, he's still feeling that.
Yes.
And kind of contemplating that. And then we jump to a little bit later in the summer. Minna is gigantic pregnant. I knew as soon as, like, they were saying that people kept saying that she looked further along. I'm like, she's carrying more than one baby.
Yes.
Like, that's what has to be happening. Turns out, they have triplets. What a mess.
Ugh.
And we also learned that in that like Nicholas and Lula have struggled to carry a pregnancy. She's conceived a few times, but she could not keep a pregnancy.
Yeah.
And during all of this, like, he goes back to tell Berta that they're okay. Like, he makes that trip, leaves her at home, goes back to make that trip because he's still searching. He still wants to know, about things. Well, are we giving them all the spoilers, like about Goldie and all that? Or we're in the spoiler zone, right?
Yeah, if you want to.
Through a series of events, he does find out more information about his family and decides to, like, make this journey back. And so he figures out who his father is. I'm not going to tell you that. Go read the book.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
really
we'll
good.
leave you guys some little tidbits to figure out on your own.
He does learn who his father is. You should go read it because I did not see that coming.
I didn't.
Did
either.
you? Like, I was like, oh,
not at all.
What a cool moment.
Yeah.
So go read that. It's really good. And then he runs across and goes to Torek, back to their original orphanage, talks to Berta, explains things. Well, he encounters this little boy that doesn't speak. But he just feels a kinship with him. And so he, without consulting his young wife, takes this boy home, adopts this boy, and takes this, which I think I would be like, what? But also, if my husband came home and with a child and said, look, this kid is ours.
Yeah.
I would not doubt him. I would not question him.
Yeah.
I would take the child in.
Yeah.
And which is exactly what happens.
And it's also kind of good to note too that at this point they're not rich, but they are doing fine.
The farm is making enough money. The orchards are making enough money. Like they have
they're comfortable.
They have money from the market where they sell that they're comfortable. They can live on that. Plus, they still have enough to give to like all the orphanages and things.
Yeah.
And so he felt confident like we can provide for this boy.
Yeah.
And for us, like it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And he had to take him home. His name is Merrick, and I just thought he was the sweetest little character.
He was,
like, just so sweet.
Yeah.
And they take him in and they love him. And so at first she's a little unsure, but then she just starts to look in his eyes and she's like, no, this boy belongs with us.
Yeah.
Minna goes into labor, has triplet baby girls. Good heavenly day.
Ugh.
Cannot imagine.
I would not want.
One at a time is enough to drive a mama crazy. I'm just telling you, like the newborn phase, I honestly have so much respect for women who have had multiples and survived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
Because I've only ever had one newborn at a time, and it is completely exhausting. You're mentally, emotionally, and physically drained. I just can't imagine. Although I do think it's a little different because we see that they spend a lot of time together as families, and there's a lot of help there.
Yes.
Today, in this
that's what I love.
We don't do that.
Oh, no. That's one aspect about the story that I really loved. Alias and Minna and Nicholas and Lula. A lot of times when people get married, I've seen this in my own friendships. People get married, they sort of get busy with their own lives and you drift apart. You're still friends.
Right.
When you see each other, you still just take over where you left off.
Right.
But there's still a void there. That did not happen here.
They're doing like day-to-day life together.
They're doing day-to-day life together.
I think that's really how God intended it.
That's what I loved about it. Their friendships remained intact through the marriage. They really became one big family.
Yeah.
And I loved that about this book. I don't think I could have stood it if Alias and Minna had drifted apart from Nicholas and Lola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. So shortly after that, Lula's out in the barn kind of contemplating some things, and she sees this like latch in the floor that she's never noticed before. And since, that place is hers too, she opens it up and finds this like treasure trove of things that Euless left to Nicholas. And it's a map to a place. How do you say it? Magisfell?
It's a very hard word to pronounce. Yeah.
It's some kind of Swedish word, we think.
Magisfjel.
Magisfell.
Yeah.
It's supposedly this isolated island of ice. And it was a place that Euless had always wanted to go. And Lula's like, well, let's try to find it and see if it's a real place.
I love this. This is my favorite part of the story.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So they go. They like charter a boat and take off. And these people are like, well, we've tried to go there before, but it's pretty scary. It's a pretty treacherous trip. Like, we can only get so close because of the ice. Like, you're going to have to row the rest of the way. Like, it's dangerous. And they're like, well, let's do it. Oh, they take the boy. They go. The storm is awful. Lula's super sick. The boy is all huddled up. It's cold. Well, Nicholas is like, something is wrong with you. Like, I can tell something's wrong with you. Well, that's when she tells. Well, I have to tell it because she's pregnant and like is several months along. So like it's odds are she's going to keep this baby if they survive the trip.
If they survive the trip,
because it's treacherous. Like you just don't know.
Yeah,
there's hypothermia to consider. Like all these things.
Getting wet. Yeah,
he's doing the best he can to keep them warm.
They're not on a Carnival cruise ship.
No, not even close. They do eventually make it and get to this island and find a cave, which Euless had told him about the caves, and so he knew that was what he's looking for. They had taken lots of supplies. And they get there, and Merrick like encounters these odd-looking deer.
Yes.
And so I had no idea that this was going to come up, but I was like, "It's the reindeer!"
It's the reindeer. Yeah.
And so he is reaching out to touch this deer, and like they're holding their breath. And they're like, "Merrick, don't!" And he's like, and that for the first time he speaks, and he says, "Don't worry, mother. He's my friend."
Yeah.
And Merrick names the deer Rue. I was like, Rudolph.
Yeah.
It's Rudolph.
Yeah. I love the way she
just wove these little pieces in, right?
Yeah. And it's not
in your face.
She does it in a way that you didn't expect it, but it's just so well done.
And believable.
It's not, it's not eye roll.
Right. It's not cheesy. It's not the standard. It was so well done.
Beautiful.
And so Nick goes out to like try to fish, ends up falling in the water and is pulled out by Euless. He almost dies. But before that, he finds like steps up to a hidden place, and there's these
Yes.
rooms. There's all these rooms. He's like, "What is this
There's
place? Like,
beds,
this is
kitchen
bizarre.
tables. Yeah,
This does
it's
not make any
clear that
sense."
somebody has been living there.
Yeah.
Photographs. There's photographs.
Yes, different things. And so he falls into the water and is, rescued by who he thinks he's. Well, it turns out it's Ulysses' brother, that has been living there. And then he also discovers that like he has another family connection to this place. So I'm not going to give that away. You should go read it. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Did not expect that. It was a super nicely done little tidbit.
Yes.
And so Philip rescues him. They kind of stay there. They do stay there.
Yeah.
And then the rest of their group ends up at different points coming, and it becomes clear, like we kind of get some flashes into the later years that they have some children, and they are continuing to deliver goodies all over the world, and it has kind of spread. Like,
yeah, and
as orphanages and
Magisville
churches,
is almost representative of the North Pole.
like the North Pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible book.
It's so good. Like, if we didn't tell you everything, I would really encourage readers, please go read the book. Like,
For sure.
If you enjoy a really just good story, this is a good story. Like I said, I think she just does an excellent job of weaving faith and fairy tale and fun with some treachery all in throughout it. And you do, if you like a romance, there is their little romance, and it's sweet. It's heartwarming. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody, I think.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I absolutely will be reading this with my kids.
This is
one of the
phenomenal
best books
book.
I've read.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
This is definitely one of my
This is one of those
top
treasures
books of the year.
that you just, like a gem that you don't know is there, kind of hiding on Kindle Unlimited. This was fun, y'all. Like, it's a really, really good little story. Chronicles of a Lost Boy on Christmas.
Yeah.
We really loved it.
Totally check it out.
Excellent book.
Yeah.
Excellent book.
Any final thoughts before we let people go?
No, I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas season.
Have a Merry Christmas.
A super great time with your families, that you make lots of memories, and that it is magical this year.
Yes. Find ways to bring that magic back in. It's okay to let some things go. It's okay if you burn the pecan pie.
That's all right.
It's okay if the table doesn't look like it belongs in a Martha Stewart.
That's all right. Like, if you will focus on the people that you love and just spending time with them and being together. And then also, keep in mind that the focus of the Christmas season truly is Christ.
Yes.
Then I think you'll have a wonderful season, and it can't be anything but.
Yes. And I'll say, even just going along with the themes of this book, don't forget about the friends that you haven't talked to in months because life is busy.
It's very easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day. We all do it.
Be more intentional with bringing your friendship circles back to where you're a little bit tighter. Yeah. I think that's part of the magic of Christmas too.
Absolutely.
Not only the family aspect of it, but the friends too.
As I was reading this book, and really was inspired by their relationships with Minna and Alias, and like how they kind of did become a clan again and just make their own family.
It's a good lesson on true friendship.
Yeah. And so, like Sunday after church, we just gathered up with all of our closest friends, and we're like, hey, let's go to lunch, and we were even talking at lunch. We were like, this is fine. Like, we came over here Colton's and ate, and it was good.
Yeah.
But we were like, Colton's. Maybe on Sundays, instead of doing this, we could alternate houses and just go to someone's house and spend the afternoon together, be together.
Yeah. And I think that is lacking in today's church.
Yeah. And so we were talking about that. We're like, we need more fellowship together than just on Sundays for an hour after church. So like, let's spend the afternoon together. Let's make it a thing where we're intentionally creating time to spend with one another and to talk. Like, we laugh, we bear up burdens when things are hard. Like, that's what we need.
And those are some of my fondest memories of going to church as a teenager.
Oh yeah.
Going home with your friends after church. Back when we went to Sunnyside Assembly of God, I judge every church by Sunnyside Assembly of God. And I can remember back in the day, every Sunday night after church, sometimes people would come to our house. Sometimes we would go to other people's house. And of course, at the time, I didn't really think about it. It was just what we did.
No,
but
you
now,
take it for granted.
You take it for granted.
Yes.
Those are some of my most precious memories.
Man, that Mazzio's building it's a mercy clinic now. It's not even what it was. But like, when we would go there, so many of like the pivotal moments of my teenage years were there. Like, the first time I ever held a boy's hand was in that Mazzio's on a Sunday night after church.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's a moment I'll never forget.
Yeah.
You know, at 14 years old, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I hope my dad's not looking over here like
And you know, and
we're
man,
just holding hands.
and I'm telling you, I don't remember the last time at any church I've been to
that there was
that
fellowship like
anyone was ever came up to me and be like, "Hey, come over to the house. Hey, let's go out and have a bite." It's been a while since that's happened. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
So-
should have done that more.
Well, I mean, I should have too.
It's easy again for us to get caught up in like, well, I'm going to go get my groceries after church, or I'm going to go do meal prep, or I'm going to go,
Yeah.
to, you know, ABC things.
It's not really in my nature to be like, oh, you know what?
Yeah,
Let's go grab a bite. Like, and even the author interviews we do, they bring me so much anxiety because talking to people I don't know
I
is
would have never
very
guessed that.
uncomfortable for me.
You do it so well. I would have never guessed that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it literally brings me so much anxiety because it's so out of my comfort zone.
See, and I think well, and maybe it's because we do have a relationship and have known each other for a while.
Yeah.
That it's easier. But you do such an excellent job at that. Maybe you protect your peace more because of that.
Yes. Well, you know, and it's true. They say introverts aren't necessarily shy, but you get so much interaction with people and then you're done. You need it to be over so you can go back to your quiet place.
Absolutely.
That really is true. So you need to get back to that quiet place so you can get your...
I had somebody tell me the other day, I think you're an extroverted introvert. So like I can do the things and talk and like do that. But I when I'm done, I have to go home and I need some peace.
Yeah.
So like after Thanksgiving was over, I turned my phone off for 2 days because I was just like, I gotta
regroup.
Like, because when you're around, I mean, in the course of 2 days, we literally saw like 70 family members.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
And I love them all dearly.
Yeah.
But I was ready for some peace and quiet.
Yeah. I envy people, extroverted people that like they
feed off of it. It's like it refreshes
their energy
them.
off of that.
Yeah.
I don't get energy off that. I enjoy it while it lasts, but it's
kind of the opposite.
I need it in short spurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when I get to the point that it's not fun anymore, I need to have it be over with.
I'm going to go back to my house and sit with my Christmas tree.
When I am sitting at home by myself, I'm doing it because I really want to. And because that's where I draw my strength from. But when that time is over, I'll call Christina and be like, let's go to Tulsa for the day. I have richness in my life that other people may not see, but it is there. I have a full life.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to say other than Merry Christmas, you guys?
Merry Christmas. If I don't see you all before the new year, Happy New Year.
Yep.
I think I'm not scheduled to be back until January. So
yeah, you'll be back in January. We're doing a Susan Mesner book, A Fall of Marigolds.
Yeah, A Fall of Marigolds.
Yeah, so
again, the cover just drew me in. I was like, that's beautiful.
I'm very susceptible to covers. Yeah.
I guess I am too, and I didn't realize I was till we started doing this.
Yeah, I've never read any of her books yet, so I'm looking forward to reading it. So yeah, you will be back. The next episode, Jessica and I will be here to talk about another Christmas book. I think it's called A Christmas at Cozy Inn or something like that. Okay. Now, if you're looking for the more traditional, fluffy, rural Christmas, this will be a good one for you to tune into. And so far, I've not finished it yet. It is a great book. It's on Kindle Unlimited too. Tell people where they can find us online if they want to.
You can find us on YouTube, Bookish Introverts Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music. Really, all major platforms are available. But if you like the video and you like to see our smiling faces and odd expressions I make sometimes, I've been watching some of them back. I'm like, oh, girl, you got to work.
You learn a lot about yourself when you watch yourself.
So if you're in for the awkwardness, YouTube is where you want to see that. No, thank you for having me on. It's been fun.
Oh, it has been such a pleasure.
So, but yes, go listen. And listen, guys, Brett's got a whole library of things. And if you haven't watched them all, go back and watch them. They're so good. There's so many really wonderful books that they talk about. And great places to get recommendations and ideas. And I will say, I'm loving this A.F. Presson. I would have never known to look for her had we not read this book. And I will certainly be going to find more of her work because if it's all as well done as this one, it's other stuff I will enjoy.
Yeah,
so.
I'm telling you, if all you read is mainstream authors and Christian fiction, you're missing out. Now, it can be hit or miss. I'll admit, I have read some indie books that it was a slog to get through. But you know what? That happens with famous
That
books,
can
too.
happen with very well-known authors as well.
Yeah, so that's not really there. It is a huge misnomer that indie authors are bad authors.
Yeah,
They're not. There are some very good ones out there, and that's why I want to focus on those, because I want to bring those fantastic authors to light.
Yes.
So anyway, like us if you're on Spotify or any of
Like
those.
and follow.
If you listen,
Subscribe.
give us a little star rating. People look at stuff like that. I don't, but some people apparently do.
Well, those metrics are important, and that helps us to kind of be seen more.
Yes.
So
It's the same way with YouTube, with Spotify. The more little star ratings you get, that helps that platform push your content out more, because people are interacting with it.
That's right.
So the platforms see that as, oh, well, we need to spread this out for more people. You got to please the algorithms in order to be seen and heard. So anyway, well, we thank you guys for listening in. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks.
All right, bye-bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Bookish Introverts podcast, where together we explore the worlds within the pages. Until next time, stay bookish.